All right, we're gonna go through how to, today we're gonna go through how to cut a rotisserie chicken. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna break it down into all the pieces that are needed to be broken down into. The very first thing that we do is, cut through the trussing. And we pull the trussing out from around the bird, like so. We discard the truss, okay? The next thing that we do is we pull any bits off of the legs. So we have these bits like this, and those can be set aside for soup or stock, okay? Now, what we're gonna do here is we're actually gonna pull this leg. So I'm gonna stick my fingers right in this joint. You can see this right here. I'm gonna stick my fingers in this joint, and I'm gonna pull this leg down. I'm gonna pull this leg down until I see this bone, okay? When I see that bone, I'm gonna come through with my knife, and I'm gonna slice down through. And what you see is that we end up with this absolutely beautiful thigh and leg. Over here, then I'm gonna find the joint, which is right in here. Take my knife, put the knife tip on the cutting board, cut down with the blade of the knife, and it comes out with the leg and the thigh perfectly separated. I'm gonna set those over here on the board. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave the wing attached because the wing is actually providing stability for the chicken base. I'm gonna take my knife and I'm gonna run it along the keel bone, which is the backbone of the chicken. So I'm gonna run it right along this right here, down into the rib cage. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick my fingers in and I'm gonna separate it slightly. See, I'm separating it here, and I'm pulling down and I'm separating. I'm gonna rotate the chicken around. I'm gonna find the wishbone. I'm gonna run my knife down the wishbone to the front. And then I'm going to just run the blade down. I'm watching my fingers, right? I'm running the blade down until I get this beautiful, full chicken breast with the skin still attached, right? I'm gonna come back to this in just a second. Now I'm gonna rotate the bird. I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna stick my fingers right into this joint. I'm gonna pull down. Now on this one, what happened is that the bone separated, okay? So I'm just gonna grab this piece here until it separates out, okay? I have the thigh then and the leg. I'm gonna trim a little of the skin off. I'm gonna set it over here. Stick my knife down, cut down through just as I did before. I'm gonna have this beautiful thigh and leg portion. Now I'm gonna come back in, and on this side, I don't really need to run the knife blade. I can, okay? I can run the knife blade down, but it's gonna separate more easily because we've already cut the one side. I'm gonna run the knife blade down the wishbone and run the knife blade down the chicken. And again, we end up with this beautiful chicken breast, okay? I'm gonna set that over here. Now what we have left is the wishbone. So what we do with the wishbone, this is the keel bone right here. We can see that this is the keel bone. We pull this wishbone forward and we separate. The wishbone has a lot of meat on it. So what we do is we grab the meat off. We can set it on our board if we want. This is the kind of meat that I just kind of, pop in my mouth as the chef. Wishbone can go in for our stock. And now what we're left with are a couple different things on the chicken carcass. There's some meat that we have to clean up, but there's these wings. And the very first thing I do is I grab the wing on the underside, I twist it forward, okay? So that the joint again cracks. I come in with my knife and I slice it off, all right? I'm gonna rotate this around and I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I'm gonna grab the wing from the underside, twist it forward till it breaks, cut down through, and now I'm left with 2 full wing sections, correct? And we'll take care of those in a second, okay? Now, I had this one broken side, which is fine. It actually allows me to demonstrate this a lot more clearly. So this is called the medallion, okay, or the médaillon in France. And this is actually one of the tastiest parts of the whole chicken. My family fights over this little piece. It's all dark meat, and it's very tender. I'm gonna set that aside for the stock. On the chicken itself, if you were looking, it's gonna be located right under this piece of skin. Here's the tail. It's gonna be located right under this piece of skin. You stick your fingers under it, you grab it, and here's this beautiful medallion that's there. Now, on the chicken, there is quite a bit of meat still left on it. So I can just grab the meat from here. I'm gonna take the skin off because this particular skin is not crispy, right? I'm gonna keep that for my stock. So I get a little bit of extra meat there. I'm gonna flip the chicken over. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, grabbing this meat here. I pull forward, right? Again, I wanna take this yellow skin off that we don't need. Now this carcass is now ready for stock, okay? There's not much meat left on it, so we can just set this to the side. And now we're gonna come back to these wings. I flip the wing over, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set my knife tip down right in this joint. I'm gonna cut down. I'm gonna flip the wing around. I'm gonna separate the wing slightly, draw my knife, tip down into the board, cut down through. Now I have the flat and the drum, okay? I'm gonna add the flat, I'm gonna add the drum. I'm gonna do the exact same, this goes into the stock, okay? Do the exact same thing over here. I have the joint here, tip down on the board, cut down through, flip the wing around, separate the wing slightly so that we have that separation there. Draw the knife down, tip down, right through the joint. This chicken has a few extra feathers still left on it. That happens every now and again. I'm gonna set this piece here and this piece over here, okay? Or maybe I'll set this piece there. That looks nice. Okay, now, regarding the chicken breast, everyone loves the skin, right? So now that we have the piece with the skin on it like this, what we can do is we can come in, and if we're holding the large part of the skin with our left hand as we're cutting down with our right, we're gonna actually be able to cut in and have each piece with its own skin on it, right? So what we do then is we just bring it with our knife back over. We set this one here. We do the same exact thing. Sorry for my dogs, but I live in a house with dogs. I've got kids, I've got dogs, I've got all kinds of things happening around me. And now we have skin on every single one. I slide my knife under, grab all of the pieces, bring them here, set them up. And now guys, what we have is an absolutely gorgeous and beautiful tray of chicken that this is how you cut a rotisserie chicken. It's pretty simple, it's very easy, and this way you have almost no waste. As you can see, I have bones in the carcass, and that's all that's left. So that's how you cut the rotisserie chicken, guys. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.